Welcome back to Adventures with BAM. I'm Brent Billings.
And I'm Maggie Billings.
And this episode has us celebrating the first BEMA wedding.
Wow.
First official.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I had a listener for the first time contact me and say, hey, I heard that you do photography. Will you shoot our wedding? And amazingly enough, the date was open. And so I got to do that a couple weekends ago.
Wow. How was it?
It was incredible.
Incredible.
They are, first of all, delightful people, Evan and Emmy. And their families are delightful. And they had like 400 guests at their wedding.
Holy smokes.
I was thinking about this a lot over the weekend. Like weddings that have that many people. And maybe this is different in some like maybe you have huge parties like this in New York City and you're paying like $500,000 for a wedding or some ridiculous thing. But I think in general, in the area that we are, when I go to a wedding and it's that kind of a guest count, usually what that means is that these people are just incredibly well loved and they have an almost endless amount of friends and family who love them dearly, or who love their family dearly and just are so excited that, like, you know, if they're friends of the parents or something, it's like, oh my gosh, your kid, like we've watched them grow up. And so even if the kids don't necessarily know these, like just so many people just coming together to love this couple and support them. And it was great.
That sounds amazing.
The couple were BEMA listeners. I knew that, but I wasn't quite sure to what extent the rest of the wedding would be. And there were quite a few people.
Wow.
So I was like trying to balance. I'm like, okay, like I'm totally fine talking about it, because some people were like, do you even want to talk about this? I'm like, I'm fine talking about it, but also like I don't want to like make the day about me.
Right.
I want it to be about them.
And you're shooting photos.
Yeah.
Don't miss anything.
Yeah. No, I didn't miss anything for it.
That's good.
But yeah, there were lots of conversations. So that was fun, and ended up leaving at the end of the wedding. And then we went to take some sunset photos. And like so normally, I don't know, like everything was just, their exit was like across the field. So I'm like running back. I forgot a couple lenses. So I ended up going back later to pick up the lenses from the family and ended up having some more conversations. So that was nice too. And met up with a couple other listeners while I was over there. Shout out to our friend Kevin from the BEMA trip 2016.
Oh, Kevin.
Met up
what
with
a
Kevin.
guy.
He just moved to the area, so saw him.
I was wondering where Kevin was these days.
Yeah. Well, he's been in Boise, but now he's in the Seattle area.
Good.
And got to discover, what was Sumner? This little town of Sumner was a delightful little downtown experience. Had fun checking that out. Had coffee there this morning with a listener, this morning. What am I talking about? Not when this episode comes out. The next morning, and Lakewood is actually where I stayed while I was over there, and that was a nice little town too. So I feel like I got to experience like a few more bits of the Seattle area that I wasn't as familiar with before. Lakewood is actually south of Tacoma, even, so I don't know if they'd appreciate being lumped in with Seattle, but I don't know. It's a sprawling metro area.
Oh yeah.
So there's plenty of it that I have yet to explore, plenty of it that I have. But yeah, it was actually super humid while I was over there too, which felt unusual. I was sweating so much on the wedding day. It was almost 90 degrees, but like 50-60% humidity. I think was the lowest the humidity got. It was 90% humidity when I like got up and left for the wedding.
That's crazy.
It was so weird. And then it was very foggy as I was leaving the next morning. So kind of got the range of Seattle area weather, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because the night I got in there was just like this gorgeous clear sky sunset. And actually, the skies cleared up pretty well for our sunset photos. Like, got some really fun stuff at Point Defiance Park. Beautiful little area. Not even little. Like, they have like a 5-mile loop trail or something. I don't know. Park is huge. But they had this pond area. They had this rose garden. They had this kind of big pedestrian bridge that went up over the boat launch area. And so you could look out over the water. So we went up there for some photos. It was cool.
Sounds awesome.
And before we got Maple, we were actually originally planning on everybody coming on that trip and then moving over to Olympic National Park. But we had to scrap that for this year. So maybe next year we can try again for Olympic.
Yeah. Sometimes you end up getting a puppy and your other plans
Sometimes.
just gotta wait.
Sometimes. Hopefully one time.
Hopefully.
Sometimes one time.
Just saying.
By the way, I don't know if I told you this, but we have a BEMA group in Forks, Washington now.
I think you did tell me that.
Yeah, so
Forks is great.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been there, but I heard that you had a good time there.
Yeah.
When you were younger.
Yes. Went there actually Labor Day weekend. Was it Labor Day weekend? Yeah, I think it was Labor Day weekend. Like that was fall.
I'd be curious to know how much of a spot it is for twilight tourism at this point.
I feel like
I'm sure it's died off, but like how much has it died off?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. The movies were not actually filmed there. So, the stories are set there, but they weren't filmed there. So I think there's a lot of twilight tourism in towns where things were actually shot. So the house that was like Bella's house or whatever, I feel like that's somewhere in Oregon. I can't remember. And somebody bought it and turned it into, I don't know if it's an Airbnb or if it's just like a tourist attraction.
Well, shoot.
So yeah, I think whatever remaining twilight tourism there is, maybe spread out beyond Forks and La Push proper.
Well, we'll check it out one way or the other, I guess.
Tell
the boys about your childhood.
My childhood. I was a full-grown adult at that point, unfortunately. You know what? It was a great trip. We camped in the back. I went with our friend Becky, and we camped in the back of her Jeep because we did not book accommodations the first night. Man, sometimes when I think back on the way that we traveled younger, I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I would never. I think I would do that now if it was just you and me and we had a big car and the seats folded down. But we didn't bring an air mattress or anything. I think
you don't even like sleeping on a full couch cushion.
Yeah, there's a big difference between doing it for a weekend in the Olympic National Rainforest,
I suppose,
than having to do it every night so that you can take a dog out to go potty every couple hours. There's a big difference.
I suppose.
Anyway, yeah, we camped in the back of the Jeep on, a little pull-off near the forest and just went all over the place. Did a day in Forks and a day in La Push, like at the beach. And I think we did a day in Port Angeles too, which was great. It was a beautiful trip. It was a great time. Lots of laughs. 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
I have been to the Seattle area many times. The Pacific Northwest. It seems like there's no shortage of things to explore and discover.
Yeah, it's a great place. I am 90% sure there's a dead spider on this blanket next to my arm. I just want to point out that I noticed that before we started recording or during, at the beginning, and I did not scream. There were no expletives. I am calmly sitting here, but I'm pretty sure that's what I'm looking at right now.
So you want me to come get it?
I would like that very much. Yes, please.